This video is based on the technical analysis of the Hong Kong index, and what we'll do is identify the market structure, market patterns, key support and resistance levels, as well as levels at which we may look for those potential buy and sell opportunities. And so at this point we are on the monthly chart, and let's get straight into the actual technical analysis. And in fact, before we get into the technical analysis, I just wanted to remind you guys that Evergrande, which is a huge property developer, has been given the the go ahead for it to be liquidated. And I also wanted to remind you guys that it's very much important for us to look at fundamentals, because I feel that a lot of people actually focus more on technical analysis rather than on fundamental analysis. So we just need to keep a balance and make sure that we have a bird's eye view in terms of what's going on within the various markets. And so guys, let's get into the actual technical analysis. And as you can see, we are on the monthly chart, and on the monthly chart we can see that price seems to be heading down to around this level to test this zone over here, which is last year's all-time low, right? So what's likely to happen, in my very humble opinion, and also depending on fundamentals, is that we may see price move further down to just retest last year's all-time low, and at this point is where we may potentially see the market actually move further up, and at least to around this level. Why do I say that level? That is because it is the neckline as well as a very strong level of resistance. It's the neckline of this overextended double top or M structure, and it's actually a good area for price to just retest. And then again, at this point we may potentially see the market move further down, or even give us this structure over here, which is a W structure or double bottom. Another thing that motivates for why we may see price actually give us the structure is that we have this candlestick over here, right? What it is a bullish candlestick with a small body and a very long upper wick. We have another one at this point, and let's see, yeah, we have two very important liquidity candlesticks, right? We have a lot of money stuck here as well as at the top, and it makes sense actually for price to head up to grab that liquidity, and then again up again to grab that liquidity again, because it is money at the end of the day, right? So what am I saying at this point? What I'm saying is, should price from where it is move further down to around this level, at that level definitely is where I will be looking for those potential buy opportunities. And should I buy at this point, my first take profit should be around this level, which is a very strong level of resistance and the neckline of this double top over here. Anyway, from here let's head down to the weekly chart and let's see what's happening down there. Here we are on the weekly chart, and to recap, remember on the monthly chart we spoke about how the market had given us this double top which has a neckline at that point, and we said we want to see price actually move further down to around this level to test it and then potentially move up to that level, and that at this point over here is where we would look for those potential buy opportunities, right? Remember we also spoke about those two candlesticks that are carrying all of that liquidity, and we said we may potentially see the market move further up to grab that liquidity, as that liquidity is actually money, and that money needs to be triggered by the market at one point or another, as I hope, right? And here we are on the weekly chart, and on the weekly chart I don't really see much. Still I just want to see price move further down to that level, and at that level is where I would look for further opportunities. Let's head down to the daily chart, and here we are on the daily chart. Let's have a look. Here we are on the daily chart. Just gonna zoom in again. On the daily chart again, I don't see much, although we can see that the market is in a very strong downward momentum or downward trend or downward trajectory. And I mean, as far as buy opportunities go, at this point still I don't see anything. I also want to point out that the market had given us this head and shoulders pattern, which has a neckline at that point. We saw here price breaking to the bottom side, heading back up to test it, and at this point we may see again the market move further down to that level that I spoke about, right, which is here. And as I said, at this point is where I believe we should look for those, or rather I would look for those potential buy opportunities. And that is because, guys, remember, whenever we have these patterns, right, we want to see price breaking sufficiently below the neckline, head up to the neckline to give it a test, and where the neckline is where we normally look for those potential sell opportunities, especially if that neckline aligns with any key numbers that we have in regards to the Fibonacci retracement tool, right? So that's exactly what happened here, where price gave us this pattern, which is a head and shoulders pattern. The market broke below, went up, and at this point is where we should have sold, and our take profit would have been around here somewhere, which is in line with the previous low, right? So as I said, remember guys, on the monthly chart, I said at this point is where we may look for potential buy opportunities, as the market may give us a double bottom, right? Nonetheless, as much as I'm saying that your price reach here, I'm going to look for potential buy opportunities. I'm not just going to buy, I'm going to look for further reasons for why at that point I should look for further reasons. So that means I need to find more reasons, more confluence, and more confirmation. And then once I'm satisfied, I will indeed buy here. And as I said, my first take profit should be around here somewhere, which is in line with the neckline of that M structure, right? Anyway, what else do we see here, guys? I don't see much. Let's sit down to the H4 chart. And just to recap, guys, remember on the daily chart, we said that the market had given us the structure, which is a head and shoulders pattern, which has a neckline at that point. Here we saw price break into the bottom side, head up to the neckline to test it, and at that point is where I said we should have looked for potential sell opportunities, and our take profit should be around this zone. And then again, at the zone is where we want to look for those potential buy opportunities. But let's zoom in and see what else is happening in regards to the H4 chart. On the H4 chart, we can also see that as much as we have that pattern that I spoke about, which is a head and shoulders pattern, we also have another smaller double top here, which has a neckline here. Again, price broke to the bottom side of that neckline, went up to the neckline to test it, and at this point is where we should have looked for potential sell opportunities. Can you guys see this trend of, you know, price breaking below the neckline, hitting back up to the neckline to test it, and at that point is where we look for sell opportunities. I hope you guys can see that. So as I said, because we should have looked for sell opportunities here, again, our take profit should be around here, in my very humble opinion. And that is because we have this candlestick over here, as you guys can see. And again, what it is a bearish candlestick with a small body and a long lower wick, and at the bottom where that wick ends, we have a lot of money stuck here, right, which is liquidity. And we know that the markets, as I always say, you know, have to go to where the money is trapped. So chances are, price based on where it is right now, we're gonna see the market move further down to at least that level. And again, at that level is where I said I'm gonna look for potential buy opportunities. But right now, as things stand, in as far as buy or sell opportunities go for that matter, I don't see any actual opportunities, right? I don't see any actual opportunities again. But your price from this level actually move further up to around that level. At that level is where I would look for further sell opportunities, and that is because, remember, we had this double top. To add to this, we also have this candlestick, which is also a bullish candlestick, right, with a small body and a long upper wick, and that means we have a lot of liquidity trap here, and we may see price actually move further up to that level to grab that liquidity, right? Another thing is that whenever we have these double tops, what normally happens quite a lot is a lot of traders and investors actually sell on the second leg, and they place their stop losses just above. So we have liquidity in the form of this candlestick over here, as well as stop losses sitting over here. So it is quite possible that yes, we do have this M structure. Price broke to the bottom side, went up to test it, and at this point is where we should have sold, right? We may still see the market actually move further up to grab the liquidity associated with that candlestick, as well as to grab those stop losses that are sitting here. And then at this point, we may again see the market move further down and at least reach this level, because we have this candlestick which is also carrying a lot of liquidity. Then again, at this point, as I said, is where we may look for potential, or where rather I may look for potential buy opportunities.